Folks, we're finally off the schneid after finishing in 5th place in yesterday's big Redzone contest. GPP Nation, rise up.
I suffer from a debilitating condition known as atrophic chokitis.
Peter's one of the greatest depositors I've ever seen.
Trust the process. Let's go. Let's go.
I got auto match with Levitan. This is bullshit.
If I just go the other way in that 66, I win all the money. All the money.
If I had 150 lineups, I'd win too.
Process over results.
Illuminati make a bitch go crazy. I don't know which one of these my baby. Bust out AP, cold spot bullets in your head like KD. Bust it, bitch go bust it. And I had 10 pints with me in Russia.
Hey everyone.
GM, we do have the coffee ready. Is this the unveiling of the Monday Night Football spreadsheet sweat? I actually do have that spreadsheet up. We will check in on that. You know, I mentioned this on Twitter to Pat, but it is really unfortunate that, today should be a celebration about me, finishing 5th place in the Redzone contest for 5K. Like today really should be all about me. And yet my co-host on Ship Chasing, Pat Kerrane, just had to go ahead and be in the pole position in Best Ball Mania 3 for $2 million with a legitimate sweat tonight and a very good chance to take that home. And so to get overshadowed by Pat on my biggest day it's frankly rude. It's equivalent to, showing up to a wedding wearing all white and trying to upstage the bride. And so I just hope Pat takes like a long, hard look in the mirror after this experience and kind of realizes that there's more to life than just, being selfish and chasing 2 million. Like it's worth celebrating your friends' accomplishments in GPPs after fucking taking a bath all season long. GM. Yes, I was having issues with my camera this morning. Thank you, John. Please, I really wanted to call it a bink. I wanted to call 5th place a bink so bad, but the bink police come out. The bink police come out if you say bink without winning. Win shell. Here's the thing. Cash Game Pete is starting tomorrow. Today we're celebrating our GPP bro Galaxy Brain Tom Brady double stacks. We are putting all of our collective energy into Kerrane winning $2 million. And then tomorrow we start running the optimals. We start looking for the highest floor plays, the best value plays, the safest plays. We're going to wrap 19 condoms around our tiny little dicks and build the best goddamn cash game lineup you've ever seen. I will say this. You can start sending me head-to-heads on DraftKings. It is Revert Z-Top, REVERTZEETOP. Send me a head-to-head. We will duke it out in week 18. Mano-y-mano, God's game, cash game. But for now, we still need to bask in the glow of what turned out to be an incredible week for GPP bros. Truly an incredible week. I pulled up this tweet here from Matthew Betts here. Check out what happened to the chalk yesterday. This is, he was using ownership from the Millie. Amon-Ra St. Brown, 40%, 10.2 points. San Francisco D, 33%, 3 points. Thank you for that, Jared Stidham. Brian Robinson, 31%, 8.7 points. Evan Ingram, 25%. Rostered 3.9 points. Garrett Wilson, 23.46%, 4.8 points. Justin Jefferson, almost 20%, 2.5 points. And then, of course, DJ Chark, 17%, 7.6 points. Yes, Matthew. Yes. An unreal slate for contrarian GPP players. I hadn't been playing quite as much volume as I had been earlier in the year, when I had more of a bankroll. I still played in the 2 spies as well as this red zone contest. So let's just pull up this lineup here. And before we do get into this, I do think we need a proper coffee pour. I think that's what we really need to get the tone and get everything started here. Oh yeah. There we go. And do we need some music here too? Let's feed the ducks a little bit. Let's feed the ducks. Thank you, ANS, for reminding me this. It's not about winning every week because Lord knows I would never do that. It's about how much you win when you win. So yes, I did get 5th place in the big red zone contest with a Tom Brady double stack. We were talking about this on the VIP cram on Sunday, yesterday. This stuff was popping in the Sims. You saw Brady, Evans, DJ Moore, and it was like a very simple double stack to do with the DJ Moore bring back. I was waffling. I ended up actually running a version of this that had Godwin in it that I tossed in some smaller contests. So the lineup here that took down 5,000 was Tom Brady with Mike Evans and Cade Otton punting it off at tight end, correlating, bring it back with DJ Moore. You get that Brady at 2.9%, Evans 7.7, DJ Moore 6.7, Cade Otton, who I swear to God had like 9 targets yesterday and was just a total dust ball at 1.9%. Then I did a one-off Tyreek Hill, thought he would go overlooked there at running back. I thought it was going to be more chalky as far as I thought Swift was going to be a little bit more popular, but I did Tyler Algier 27%, DeAndre Swift almost at 8%, but very happy. I would have had almost 100% Swift if I knew he was going to be at this spot. I thought Jamal Williams was going to be in this range, and then DeAndre Swift was going to be higher, but there was so much, I think, late steam on Jamal Williams that Swift actually got squeezed a bit. And then I had a one-off Brandon Ayuk in the flex there. He was a guy I knew I liked both Kittle and Ayuk in this spot with CMC's ownership and with Debo out. Ended up leaving Ayuk in here, even despite the good start, because I thought it gave me a really nice chance to kind of climb the leaderboard. And then I did have Falcons D correlated with Algier there. So pretty, I don't know, basic GPP bro lineup for me. Double stack, bring back, get in a high ceiling play it relatively safe at running back. I guess the Ayuk play is definitely the differentiator there. Getting 29 points at 2.7% ownership there, looking pretty good. But this was the team here in my spreadsheet when I was working on it yesterday morning, and it projected very well for me. I mean, I think I told you guys on the cram that most of my builds were in like the 180 to 185 range as far as ceiling projection. The optimal yesterday was around 204. So you're giving up around 20 points of ceiling projection in most lineups. But man, a lot of that chalk felt fragile, especially kind of with the Jags motivation setup and some of those other situations. So yes, things broke well for me in this one. I thought for a little while I would maybe have a chance at climbing up into the top 3 or so, but first place was just going to be out of reach once CMC really got going as well. And then the Packers D, that was the real differentiator here. Like, I kind of am sick to my stomach because Packers D was a defense I was on yesterday, had them in multiple other lineups. I still don't think I win this tournament with the extra 18 points here. 235. Yeah, I come in second if I play Packers D over Falcons, but had the extra 400 to correlate it with Algier. And so we get 5th place, and that's the deal. Yes, consider yourself influenced. And now you need to go get coffee. Yeah, I was a little torn if we should play Feed the Ducks, because normally I play Feed the Ducks when I'm just down incredibly bad and it's more of a funeral. And, you know, once or twice out of the year on these shows, I can be in a good mood. But I don't know, Feed the Ducks, I think it's a song for any occasion. It really is just hitting all the moods. Man, USFL Spy. Man, that feels like a long time ago, USFL. Week 17 is all that matters in DFS as well. That was the thesis of the play, was I would think about week 17 all summer, not get any bullets through to Best Ball Mania 3, but still know how to correlate in week 17 with my Tom Brady doubles there. I actually saw, I think it's Silas. I was looking at Silas Jackson, member of the Deposit Kingdom, Ship Chaser, Best Ball Bro, all that good stuff. He is leading the Pomeranian 3 right now, or whatever one it is. It's the one I'm in with him. And he had the Brady double with Godwin and Evans on that team. And then the CMC bring back, right? Because at the time, people were drafting Carolina and then stacking up the Bucks around it for that week 17 matchup. Of course, you get CMC sliding over to San Francisco. He still balls out. But that Brady double enough to vault him to the top of the palm. I think there's like 5K up top there. So good luck tonight to Silas to holding on to that. Philly, it feels incredible. I didn't even know I was capable of feeling this. I mean, I have hit the deposit button so many times this year that it just almost became part of my routine. It'd just be like, oh, it's Monday. The Deposit King's heading to the deposit button. So to have a little bit of a balance here to accept all of your head-to-heads this week. It feels good. I'm not going to lie, Philly. It feels good. Michael, you got 12th in the same contest, was in 4th before the late slate explosion with Wilson left. Not sure if I would have swapped to Lazard. Thoughts? Let's see. Is this you? Is this you? I should have with Wilson left. 12th. My bad. 12th. Okay, Garrett Wilson. Yeah, so you knew he was going to be extremely popular. You had the Evans, DJ Moore as well, and even did better with your punt tight end, Hunter Henry. You also had Tyreek Hill. Wow, we had similar lineup here. Oh, you had Rashad White, ETN, and Saints D. Wow. You know what? I probably would have let it ride there with Garrett Wilson. You were in such good shape, hitting that Saints defensive play as well. I don't blame you for riding Garrett Wilson there. I don't blame you at all. I think that was fine. And like, I don't know, if there was a really good pivot, like, you know, sometimes if you have 8K or whatever, and say you're playing a stud, like you have an Eckler and you can pivot to an Adams, you can pivot to another stud that has a legit ceiling. I understand it far more in those scenarios, but like going from Garrett Wilson to Allen Lazard is just such a massive like downgrade in talent that you're betting on, that even though he was popular, and you could have gone through some of these teams above you as well. Like you could have gone, I guess I could have had Garrett Wilson in mind. I would have been leaving what, 800 in cap space or 900 in cap space. So, but you can kind of tab through and say, hey, if I don't think a lot of the guys ahead of me have Garrett Wilson, might as well let it rip with there. So I don't mind that at all. Am I still live in the palm? No, not at all. I did have a Justin Fields team. I thought it was going to be like after that first quarter, I was like, holy shit, Justin Fields pretty low owned in these best ball finals. Maybe he'll get me there, but man, he really took the foot off the gas after that quick start. Yeah, it seems like a lot of people had good days yesterday. Definitely awesome to hear. Thank you, Katie. I appreciate that. The baby did finally bring me luck. You know, I had been doubting on here. You guys told me I was going to get the baby bump DFS narrative. And I was like, guys, we're running out of weeks for this narrative to hold true. And yet April finally came through for me in the clutch. Nimfufu took down the Minimax, beating the guy that won your tourney, NYC Freeze. Ooh. So NYC Freeze must have been tossing this lineup in a lot of spots. It was the Brady doubles that were key yesterday. Wow, Waller at 0.9% correlated with CMC. That was a sick play there. I'll admit, like, Waller was not on my radar whatsoever, but at that price, man, very nice play there. I was off on Brian Robinson. I didn't like that play. Van Jefferson, another guy. I guess it makes a little sense because what, Tutu Atwell was catching some steam at 3,600. So Van Jefferson for 400 more, not a bad pivot. And then of course, Packers defense, man, very nice lineup there, but congratulations Nimfufu on your Minimax ship. Let's see. Oh yeah. So one other thing. So this lineup that I had built, I built two different versions, for it. And you know, the red zone is a bigger contest. It's around what the big spy generally is, 5,681 entries. And so for this one, I didn't do kind of more of an onslaught, but I did for some of these smaller contests. I always share the rake free leagues in the Hand Builders channel, but like the Smiz Gang League, which is only this is 3,000 entries. And I tossed it in the ETR Me 1-2, which was only 500, but I did a slight remix on it where I tossed in Godwin instead of Ayuk. So just going all in here. And then to make the salary stuff work, I had to go down to Rams D. Man, if I had Packers D in this one, that would have been a much better play. But did go to Rams D here. And then I did go to Jamal Williams instead of Swift, but then did keep Tyreek Hill. So this was just a slight remix on that lineup. 204.68 for that version. And then my version finished at 217.38. So kind of my thought process in giving myself access to some one-off higher ceiling uncorrelated pieces in Ayuk in the bigger contest relative to just onslaughting the correlation in the smaller. I feel like that actually kind of played out how I intended it to play out in this scenario. So still got that good game from Godwin. But the defense sunk me here. Rams. I do not know why I didn't play Packers defense on this one. Maybe I just got bored of putting Packers D in some other lineups, but man, that would have been nice to have that there. Thank you, Big. Dan says, I knew the new dad energy would get you some. I appreciate that. Sammy has a shot in the Pomeranian 3, the Superflex, and the DK Million. Let's fucking go. I'm guessing a man who goes by the Buffalo War Pigs has a few Buffalo Bills going tonight. That would just be my hunch, Sammy. Good luck to you tonight. Nymphufu also took down Smiz's tourney. Nice. Are you Langley here? The Tom Brady, ETN, McKinnon, Godwin, Evans, DJ Moore, Hunter Henry, Devonta Smith. Man, that mid-tier, like the Devonta Smith Ayuk plays is one-off, high ceiling mid-tier plays. That really smashed yesterday. Obviously, Evans as well. Man, McKinnon just on an absolute scorcher. I had him in my Deposit Kingdom lineup, which we can look at in a second. I'll show you guys. I actually did min cash the SPY. Normally, I would be leading this portion of the show, victory lapping a min cash in the SPY. But the red zone got first billing, but I did mid cash the SPY. This was my Justin Fields team. Played this one a little chalkier through that game. Justin Fields, Amon-Ra St. Brown, and Cole Kmet, and then Jamal Williams also coming back. So Fields skinny stack with Kmet, and then Amon-Ra, Jamal Williams on the bring back. And then did get in another Tyreek Hill share. Correlated him with Jacoby Myers, a guy I liked a lot. I've been wanting to get a Patriot into a lot of these lineups just because one of those Patriots wide receivers, pass catchers, seems to go off every week. Paid up a little bit more out of the, Kendrick Bourne, Tyquan Thornton tier to get to Jacoby. And then I did both Zonovan Knight and Elijah Moore as cheap guys who I knew were going to be low owned and also kind of good pivots off of the Garrett Wilson chalk. And then I did get my Packers defense in here, which is what ultimately salvaged the min cash. Just didn't really get access to any ceiling performances through my wide receivers. Nothing disastrous, but this lineup just didn't explode, but very happy to salvage a min cash with this team. Let's see who took down the SPY. GTM, again, another one. Okay, I finally see an Eckler one in here. I mean, what a monster lineup. Brady to Godwin and Evans, of course, bring it back with DJ Moore. You get in Swift, you get in Eckler, Hawkinson. I'm shocked Hawkinson was able to salvage his day, considering what a brutal performance that was for the Vikings. Greg Dortch at 35%, Patriots defense at 15%. So again, a pretty logical lineup, like just premium double stack, bring back, get in elite running backs here. And Swift's usage has been so good. I'm honestly shocked that his ownership percentage wasn't higher. I'm trying to see what I had it in my sheet at as far as projected ownership. Swift was coming in at, I guess, 10%. So still a little lower. And then I always add on a bit of a premium for small field. I would have assumed 15% in Swift. So 7-8% in these contests seems pretty good to me. That whole Bucks game was bullshit. Well, considering I got 5th in a GPP and Kerrane is riding Brady and Godwin to 2 million, I'm not going to say that game was bullshit. I'm going to say that's exactly how the Lord intended that game to go. Check out the lineup in 83rd in the SPY. Same lineup that finished 4th in the Kingdom. Roast me. Okay, let's see your team. Ooh, yes. Russell Wilson, Judy, Sutton. Bring it back with Kelsey. I honestly love that. I thought Judy and Sutton were both really good plays. Russell Wilson gets there mainly because of those 2 rushing touchdowns. But I really like that build. Getting in the one-off Evans is sick. Jamal Williams and Swift. Wow, double Lions running backs. Man, I do not know if I would have ever pulled the trigger on that in this big of a contest. It's certainly viable. It's certainly hit for you. I wonder long-term about that play being viable. It's obviously something you can do in the smaller stuff. I think I would have preferred to, take a stab on AJ Dillon, Algier, Zonovan Knight, Zach Moss, one of those other guys down there. But what do I know? Because you got 50 plus points from your Lions running backs. And then you had, a one-off Alan Lazard late at 17.4%. And then the Jets defense at 2.5%. Not a bad lineup. I think I do like this lineup much more in small field. And you can see here, finishing 4th in the Deposit Kingdom tournament versus, being, still got a nice 4X here in the big SPY. Not a bad team. I like it. Yeah, I talked about it on the cram yesterday. I just did not think Marco saying Robinson was 100 cheaper. I don't think people were bought on Swift. See, the irony to me is Swift was like the safer play than Brian Robinson. It's weird because I think, you know, people want to chase the projectable volume for Robinson because Gibson was out, but Swift has a much higher floor with his passing game usage. He's been catching a ton of balls. So in a weird way, Robinson's the more, I don't know, GPP kind of prayer play, which is fine playing it when it's not popular. Like if you switch those ownership percentages around and Brian Robinson's an 8% and Swift is 30%, then by all means, Brian Robinson's the better play. But it's just kind of ironic that the quote unquote safer, higher floor play in Swift was the lower owned of those guys. Ashton really hopes Pat wins BBM3. Me too, my man. Me too. We will have a stream tonight. We'll fire it up over on the Ship Chasing YouTube channel. Also, if you didn't get to check out the sweat last night, we were live for a couple hours and very fun time sweating that with Pat, with Gretch, Leone, Davis swung by. I have the link down below if you guys want to get primed for his sweat. And in a second, I'll pull up what he is trying to fade tonight to take down $2 million. I think that is it for my stuff as far as in the red zone, in the big spy. Let's take a look at a few Deposit Kingdom tournaments. And let me take a swig of coffee because I'm getting parched. All right. First place. Yes, I do see our first place winner in the chat, Jake Gelson. Is that how you pronounce it, Jake? Congratulations here. Very sick team. Had, of course, the Brady premium double stack. Bring it back with DJ Moore. Get in 2 great running back plays in Barkley and ETN, even with Barkley disappointing. Played Jelani Woods. Jelani Woods was like a tricky guy for me. I couldn't tell if he was going to get steamed or not. 12% in this contest seems completely fine at 2,800. Obviously, Trey McBride was the nuts down there for the punt tight ends. And then let it ride with Garrett Wilson in the late slate, which I definitely would have as well. And Saints D early at 2,200. Man, those cheap defenses absolutely smashed yesterday. Saints D 2,200, Packers D at 20 or 2,300. I'm just pulling this up to look at these DSTs. Yeah, 23 points at 2,300, 18 points at 2,200. Punting it off at defense remains a very nice strategy. Going what? It's like the 2 rules of defensive strategy, not super chalky and cheap. And both of those hit yesterday. So congratulations to Jake for shipping the Deposit Kingdom Week 17 GPP. See what J Wall did here. Everything at the top of the leaderboard were Brady doubles. He was even able to finish second in this contest without Evans. So this team has Brady, Godwin, Otten bringing it back with DJ Moore. So just 3 points off there. Pretty big difference going from Evans to Godwin, but still enough to help him get in CMC, which was obviously a smash. That was my kind of big downfall with that too. Like with my lineup paying up for Tyreek Hill, you know, I could have used that money on CMC. If I would have just fucking done, God, why am I tilting this? I had the extra 100 too, right? You slide Ayuk here and you play both Ayuk and CMC and then you win it all. Could be 45K richer if I would have just thought that through. Fucking donkey. Anyways, J Wall, congratulations on second place here. What made you want to fade Jefferson? Yeah, so there were 2 things with Jefferson. I hated the spot for the Vikings. I love playing, you know, Kirk and the Viking team when they're in the dome, when they're at home, but going on the road to Green Bay, playing a motivated Packers team that wants to slow the game down, run the ball, can play good defense. Like I just hated the spot for them. And then on top of it, I felt towards the end of the week that people were getting a little bit spooked about CMC's usage in this spot, just thinking, hey, they're going to blow him out. They're going to use TDP in the second half. And so I was like, all of the upper end ownership, because there weren't a lot of viable elite players to spend up on, I felt that getting all funneled to Justin Jefferson. So I was like, if this dude's going to be really popular, and I don't think his expectation for scoring is that different than Tyreek Hill, why would I pay the extra 600 for that? So I didn't mind just kind of fading that spot. And you saw with my other SPY team, you got to make some stands on this slate. And one of the stands was like, man, I don't really buy the total in this Green Bay Packers game up there as the second highest total on the slate. It just seemed like a spot where things could really fail and the game would slow down. So it was just easy for me to kind of scratch that game off of my sheet outside of the Packers defense. Anyone else want me to look at their teams here? I saw the body spill atop a lot of tournaments yesterday, had the Deshaun Watson double. Shout out, there were some people in the Cram chat yesterday talking up Amari Cooper. I was not on him whatsoever. That was obviously a very good call. 2.5%, 5,800, man. Took a little leap of faith there, but at that price and ownership, getting the 28 there, very, very nice play. And also just a really nice pivot off of Garrett Wilson at 5,500 in that same range. Nice lineup here, getting in Evans, Hill, did the Elijah Moore thing. So you almost get like a double pivot off the Garrett Wilson chalk, the price pivot to Cooper, and then the team level pivot to Elijah Moore. I like that. I was tempted with Dalvin Cook initially. Like we put Dalvin Cook on our team that I built with JM on Friday. But like I was saying about the Vikings spot, I ended up getting off of the Vikings altogether, despite thinking Cook was going to be a decent leverage play. Although in this contest, Deposit Kingdom, you guys are too sharp, comes in at 18.5%. So not even that sneaky from that perspective. That's what I meant to say, Dylan. I was worried about Jair. I heard Jair talking shit about Justin Jefferson, and I said, all right, this guy's going to shut him down. The Pika, 13th place. Teddy Bridgewater. Ooh, baby. Teddy Bridgewater to Tyreek Hill and Gesicki. Holy shit. ETN, Brian Robinson, Chris Godwin, Jacoby Myers, Keenan Allen, Packers defense. Man, this is fun. So the Teddy double, bring it back with Jacoby Myers. Play the chalky running backs, ETN, Brian Robinson, but you knew your stack was going to be super contrarian. You get Godwin sub 10%, which is nice. And then you knew Keenan Allen. I guess, was Keenan Allen projected to be more popular than this, or is this just in the Deposit Kingdom? We hate Keenan Allen. Yeah, I'm seeing him at 15%. So this seems like one of those classic disparities between Deposit Kingdom players versus the field. He comes in at 5% here at 7K. And then Packers defense, of course, really sick one-off. This seems like a nice team to me. No complaints here. I know I didn't end up doing Bridgewater stuff. I was more content playing the one-off alpha game from Tyreek Hill. But, I mean, at 5K, if you like that game to shoot out a bit, and there were points left on the table in that game too. Definitely could have been a little bit better there. So don't mind that lineup. I see our guy Mythology here in 12th place. Ran out the Mahomes double with McKinnon and Juju. No Denver bring back. Not needed. Wait, who the fuck is this? Who the fuck is this? My guy Mathology out here playing Jonathan Williams at 4K. Wow. I mean, I don't even hate it. I mean, if the thesis is like Brian Robinson is bad chalk, and that the gap between him and Jonathan Williams isn't even going to be that big, and you knew he's going to catch a few balls. I don't know. 3 receptions, 30 yards. What? Almost matches Brian Robinson in points. You're a sick fish. You're a sick fish, Mythology. Get in Tyreek Hill. Also the one-off Amari, Dortch, Kittle. A lot of one-off plays here. I guess the Jonathan Williams, Amari Cooper. Fun team though. Very fun team. Pierre came in 23rd with a dummy lineup. What does a dummy lineup look like for Pierre? I mean, if you're going to make a dummy lineup, that looks like a pretty good dummy lineup. Fields to Komet. I guess no Detroit. Dalvin Cook, Algier, Etienne. Good plays. The Gage one. Yeah, that's how you know it's a dummy lineup, because you filled out the rest of this lineup, and then you're like, shit, I have 3,800 left. Fuck it. I'll click Russell Gage. Yeah, Alan says, yesterday the key to unlock the slate was fading 30% ARSB and Dortch for sure. And I think on other slates, getting off Dortch would have been harder, in that sometimes we are so starved for value, but there was so much running back value sub 6K that you look at all these teams, right? And people are able to build these Brady premium doubles and still get in Barkley, still get in Eckler. Guys like Algier and the Lions running backs, and even Brian Robinson, who didn't hit, but like these guys, I think helped you get away from Greg Dortch. Whereas sometimes you might just have to plug your nose and play it because he was projecting so well. Let's see here. Anyone else want me to look at their lineup? See, our guy Paul here ran out the Aaron Rodgers to Dubs in Tunyon. That's pretty fun. I love this. No bring back with Minnesota on this spot. Playing Barkley, Jamal Williams, Waddle one-off. Man, Greg Dortch did get up to 48% in the Deposit Kingdom. Wow. But able to get in CMC. See, this was the thing too. Like, you didn't need to use Dortch to get to this, but he was able to get in CMC, Waddle, and Barkley because of the Dortch punt there. But yeah, Dortch, I mean, even at 3K, like 5.5 points, like you're not winning a tournament with that. But he's not the reason you're losing. $185. Oh yeah, I did see some of you Galbrainers talking about doing the David Blau play, which honestly didn't project bad. I just didn't have the stomach for it. I mean, 4K, you get 14 points. You do it to Dortch and include Connor. Man, that's such a bummer. I'm trying to think of the David Blow double, like getting on Trey McBride. But I certainly understand using Connor and Dortch as your two there. Wow. Olamide Zacchaeus at 3,400. That guy was not on my radar whatsoever. But man, 3,400. And so then you were able to use all of this savings to get in Kelsey, Jefferson, Ken Walker, Garrett Wilson. Yeah. So you punted it off to get in the high price studs that failed. It happens. And then I don't mind using 49ers defense on a team where you're so contrarian. However, Matt, you were dusted early. You were pretty dusted early. I guess you still had Jefferson going and some in Wilson, so maybe you thought you'd climb. But I'm probably getting off Niners D here anytime my early plays bomb like this. I don't think you want to roll into the 4 p.m. games with a 43% 49ers D. Now, this is how you do a tease. This is how you guys get me to look at your lineups, is you clickbait me. 99th with a surprising QB selection. I'm going to have you come write subject lines for the Fantasy Life newsletter with me. Davis Mills. Okay, yeah, that is surprising. All right. What do they always say? You know, it's not clickbait if you pay it off. You paid it off. Davis Mills is a truly surprising selection. Davis Mills to Jordan Akins, and then using this to get in Christian Kirk. I do think if I was using Davis Mills, I would kind of want to have Travis Etienne or even a couple Jags, where your thought is, hey, this game stays competitive. You know, the Texans are playing catch up because the Jags are putting up points. I think I would maybe want to onslaught this more if that's what you're playing for. Miles Sanders only comes in at 12%, but gets Snowflake, DeAndre Swift, Tyreek Hill, the Tyquan Thornton, Tyreek Hill mini. Both those guys scoring around the same amount of points. And then Justin Jefferson late. See, this is another one of those spots where, again, I know we all get busy and we're too lazy to late swap. I'm thinking you didn't even have the benefit of knowing Seahawks D was going to put up 17 points. Like, you really only had one good spot in your lineup. I guess two if you say Thornton and Swift. I'm probably getting off of Justin Jefferson in this spot and just plugging my nose and playing Eckler, playing Devontae Adams. And I know that's easy to say in hindsight because those guys went off. But I think you just need to get off of the 30% owned guy if you want to have a chance to climb up the leaderboard here. And you see finish off of the min cash by a decent amount there. So I don't know. I think that's my big rule of thumb. Like, when you're behind this much, getting off of those guys you know are going to be super popular. Sorry Not Sorry is 30th in BBM3 final. Now I know why you said that Bucks game was bullshit. I can't see your team. I don't have access to your team. I'm sorry. Let's see here. I'll pull up Pat's team here and show you guys what he's looking like heading into tonight. So Pat currently in first place, 161.68 points. Tom Brady, 37.68 points. Austin Eckler, 30 points. Raheem Mostert, man, 19.1 points. And then his 4 wide receiver scores. DJ Moore, 20.7. Chris Godwin, 16.5. Jacoby Myers, 13.8. Tyquan Thornton, 13.5. And then at defense using George Kittle's 10.3. So, I mean, definitely disappointing not getting a little bit more George Kittle. That's what we were sweating on stream yesterday. That getting even 5-6 more points, as you guys will see here in a second, would go a long way to boosting his win equity. But super fun team here. Just incredible to make it all the way here, not use Barkley, not use Ramondre, not use Waddle, not use Lockett. Just such a sick run here. And so this is the sweat. Shout out to Ultimate Spreadsheet Virgin, Michael Leone, for putting this together last night. Hopefully you guys can see this on here. Basically, you can see these threat levels here. A lot of the teams in the top 10 that are hunting him down aren't necessarily the biggest threats. He's fading a big game from James Cook, like you see here, 23.3, clear 20.1, clear 19.2. He's fading 22.54 from Boyd. It's when you get down here into 12th and 14th place where it starts to get a little scary. So in 12th place, there's a Burrow, Boyd, Knox team. This guy needs to clear 26.02 at QB. So maybe the Burrow one doesn't come into play, but then only needs to clear 13.7 at wide receiver, which, you know, Boyd would need a big game to do that, and 12 at tight end. So like this one is a little thinner. I might even lower this threat level down to 5 or 6. This is the scariest one in my opinion. Cross-eyed cricket here, 16.6 backs, 16.6 points back, has Singletary, T. Higgins, and Knox. And this is all he needs to clear. 6.3 at flex. So the second any of these guys go over 6.3 in scoring, that's going to start chipping away at 16.6, his deficit. Then only needs to get back 7.3 at RB. So if Singletary clears 7.3, all of those will start kicking in. And then wide receiver, 7.7, 16 at wide receiver and 7.7 at tight end. So this one's really scary. Basically, you know, if 2 of these guys have really big games, he's going to get close. And if all 3 of these guys have a good game, Pat's probably GG here. So this is a big sweat. Singletary, T, and Knox. Those just have to avoid kind of 2 of those guys having a monster game. You can see here fading 26.3 from Chase. Yes, somewhat scary, but man, 26 is still a monster number. Fading 24 here. You kind of have to go down a little bit more. Here's the first kind of just clean T. Higgins one. Fading 21.5 from T. Higgins because he only has 2.5 points from Lockett. So that one could be scary. But again, 21.5 and half point with no 3-point bonuses. That's still a lot. You can see down here where there's a couple really scary ones. Fendi, Filet. He has a 0 at quarterback right now, so Burrow counts immediately. And then T needs to clear 7.3 to start counting. So he needs 43 from the combo. So if you get a Burrow Higgins big game, like 100 yards, touchdown, Burrow throws 3 TDs, like you're done there. And then this one's scary too. Down here all the way, this guy's 37.32 teams back, LP 8317. Burrow clearing 17.2. Gabe T, all they need to clear is 3.4, 3.9 to start counting. Mixon needs to clear 13.8. So fading a total 76. So this is, again, like when you go through these sweats, I think like any individual team he's going up against, he's definitely a favorite. However, when you put them all in conjunction, there's definitely in the aggregate a scary sweat. And obviously his biggest anti-sweat is just this game getting nutty. Like if this can be a 20-17 game, he's definitely rooting for like an alpha Diggs game because there aren't really any big Diggs sweats here. This is like a night where we need random touchdowns. Give us the Reggie Gilliam tonight. Give us the fucking Samaj AP run. Give us the Trenton Irwin. I'll even root for Cole Beasley tonight. That's what we're looking at here. So, he's I don't know if he's actually the favorite. I was talking with Leone. I think it's somewhere between like 30 to 40%. Like I said, against any individual one of these teams, he's definitely the favorite. But against all of them together, it's a little scary. This one is the one that really gets me. Because you do this one right here. T. Higgins gets 16. Singletary gets 6.4 and Knox gets 7.8. Like that's not that hard to do. That's the one that's going to scare me tonight. Sean says, still a nice win, even if he doesn't take the top prize. Here's the thing, though. I mean, I'm not disagreeing with you, but like he's either going to get, first, second, third, probably because this game doesn't go nutty. But if this game goes nutty, it's going to go very bad for him. And once you slide out of the top 10, it's precipitous. the prize pool just massively falls off. So, I mean, there's big sweats even relative to getting first. Like, holding on to a top 5 spot for one of those is big. And the thing is like these charging teams are like relatively correlated to a big game happening. So if it gets bad, it's going to get really bad. But if it stays good, it's going to stay really good, I guess is how I would sum that up. Yes, we can root for a McKenzie TD tonight. Goose says, I'm just going to leave all these guys out of my showdown so I can join the fade. Yeah, I will share leverage plays in the Discord like I do for the showdown slates, but I will not be playing showdown tonight. All of my energy and my juju will be headed toward this team. Yes, there's another good one. Nyheim Hines 4 TD game. It really is a legendary sweat. Like, man, I mean, I made a video about Best Ball Mania 3 this summer, and the whole reason we talked about week 17 and while it's the only thing that matters is because getting these first few spots really is the only way long-term to realize your equity in a tournament like this. And on top of that, just how hard it is, right? Like the expectation of people who won 50 max Best Ball Mania 3, 1 out of 8 of them, if everyone was like average players, would get a team through to the finals. And then you talk about the probability of being in first out of 450 teams. Like it's a glorified lottery in some senses. And it's not taking anything away from Pat and the incredible team he drafted, but just the gauntlet that he had to go through to get here. It's just absolutely insane to be in this spot. Like truly once in a lifetime stuff to be live, legitimately live for 2 million. I'm so stoked for him. I hope tonight, however it shakes out, is not too painful and that he can just enjoy this moment because, man, $2 million sweats do not come around too often. So join us on Ship Chasing tonight. We'll be firing up a live stream and sweating this game. We can sit there and go tick, 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 tick as we watch that clock bleed. We can root for those Nyheim Hines touchdowns, Reggie Gilliam touchdown. Big Trenton Irwin fan tonight, but I appreciate all of you guys. Tomorrow, I become a cash game grinder. You can start sending me head-to-heads, revert Z-Top. This week is all about the cash games. We'll be squaring off with the Gilcast Bros in a high-stakes head-to-head. I'm looking forward to it. Oh, and Friday, I'm sorry, guys, no JM. I had to send JM to the bench. I said, JM, you're too much of a galaxy brainer. I need someone who will get me in the condom mindset for cash game week. So I did book none other than the Blitz man himself, Derek Carty. He will be joining me on Friday. It will become cash game week soon enough. But for now, we sweat Pat Crane's 2 million. Have a good night. Let's hit the under in this game, guys.
Thank you.